So that was the part kind of why leading up to the Afghan war, why it was kind of pointless to begin with, and why we could have changed this sort of history, and why this war didn't need to happen at all, and you could have accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish without ever having anyone having to die, or without having to fight any war, and you would have got this goal. They brought this man to justice who attacked your country so long ago. But you know, you didn't take that diplomatic angle, and now your soldiers are dead, Afghan civilians are dead, and you still have what you're looking for. And this war started, Bush said that he wouldn't make a distinction between governments that harbored terrorists and governments, you know, and the terrorists themselves. But that's such a bullshit line. I mean, Canada harbors terrorists. I mean, with that line, we could have tanks rolling up over the border anytime soon. It's just, this whole situation really sickens me, and this whole, I mean, why you're continuing this situation just really sickens me. It's just such a waste of time and a waste of life. It's really quite disgusting. I mean, I'm not sure what your goal is in Afghanistan now, what the goal is. I mean, there's this war on terror, but I mean, how can you have a war on terror? It's such an abstract, and it's just like an ideal or a concept. It's like having a war on cooking. It's just stupid. I mean, and then there's Iraq, which I don't think I really need to talk about, because I'm hoping that Americans have kind of realized how ridiculous that war was and how meaningless that war was. I mean, there's no reason why Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein would have ever been working together, because their ideals and their concepts are so contradictory towards each other that they never would have helped each other out. And then, you know, you invaded a country, and then you removed this dictator who was modernizing the country, who was building roads and building infrastructure and building industry, and you came in and you blew that all up, and then you removed him. And now, I mean, not saying that, you know, Saddam Hussein was this great, wonderful guy. I know that he killed lots of innocent civilians in these weapons testing programs. But I mean, you know, the Americans came in and then removed him and destroyed all this infrastructure that he built, and then ended up killing more civilians than he did anyway. So, that's really quite ridiculous. And the Americans ended up becoming this far worse than this dictator which they sought to remove. It's... I mean, if you think about it, you're the ones who are really instilling terrorism in the region. You're the ones who are really being the terrorists. I mean, how do you make terrorism stop? Stop terrorizing the people. There's your answer. That's how you can stop this whole situation. You could have stopped it before it even began. But I mean, you know, you can still cut your losses and just leave the area. I mean, the Taliban aren't going to follow you home. Like I said, they're the most inward-focusing country on the planet. They don't have a foreign policy. They're not going to attack you. I mean, Osama bin Laden's probably dead by now. We all know that while he was running, he was on dialysis, and it's pretty difficult to carry a dialysis machine through the desert, so he's probably kicked it. And, you know, maybe just left the region alone. You know, these countries could get back on their feet. You know, you wouldn't look like such assholes in the eyes of the world, but I don't know. The whole situation is just so fucked up that maybe it's, I don't know. It just, this war just really sickens me. And I really hope that maybe, you know, Winston Churchill once said that the Americans always do the right thing after they've exhausted all of their options. And I hope you guys are running out of options soon, and you will eventually do the right thing. And I think that's all I can say for now. This is Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin signing off, and I'll see you guys later.
We on Earth have just awakened to the great oceans of space and time from which we have emerged. We are the legacy of 15 billion years of cosmic evolution. We have a choice. We can enhance life and come to know the universe that made us, or we can squander our 15 billion year heritage in meaningless self-destruction.